In today's fast-paced world, where information is at our fingertips, reading has become an essential part of our daily lives. Whether you're reading for work, study, or personal growth, retaining the information you consume can sometimes be a challenge. Many people find that, no matter how much they read, they struggle to recall the material later. The good news is that there are specific techniques you can use to improve your memory and ensure you retain more of what you read. This video will explore proven strategies to help you remember everything you read. These methods are not only effective but also easy to incorporate into your daily routine. With consistent practice, you can transform your reading experience into a powerful tool for knowledge retention and long-term understanding. The importance of active reading. One of the main reasons people forget what they read is because they engage in passive reading. This means they skim through the material without fully engaging their mind. Active reading, on the other hand, requires full attention and active involvement with the content. Ask questions. Before you start reading, ask yourself what you hope to learn from the material. Formulating questions helps your brain stay alert and primes it to focus on key information. Highlight and take notes, underline important points, or make notes in the margins. Writing down your thoughts as you read helps reinforce the material in your memory. Summarize. After reading a section, take a moment to summarize it in your own words. This forces you to process the information and enhances retention. Please remember the following tips to improve your memory when reading. Active reading. When you actively engage with the text, your brain becomes more involved, making it easier to remember what you have read. Visualizing the content you are reading is a powerful tool for memory retention. Our brains remember images better than words, so turning text into vivid mental pictures can help engage the part of your brain responsible for long-term memory. Tips for visualizing while reading. Create mental images. Try to picture the concepts in your mind as you read. For example, visualize the setting, people, and key moments when reading about a historical event. Use metaphors. Create a metaphor or analogy if the material is abstract. For instance, imagine a complex system as a well-oiled machine with each part representing a specific function. Mind mapping. Draw a mind map to represent key ideas and their relationships, especially for complex topics with multiple layers of information. This visual representation helps you see connections and retain the material more effectively. Repetition is crucial for memory retention. The more often you review information, the more likely it is to stay in your long-term memory. It's important to space out your reviews to remember what you've read effectively. The method of spaced repetition. Immediate review. After finishing reading, review the material within 24 hours to reinforce the information and prevent it from slipping away. Gradual review. Review the material again after 1 week, then after 1 month. This is known as spaced repetition and helps cement the information in your long-term memory. Active recall. Instead of just rereading the material, actively try to recall the information. Test yourself on the key points and summarize them from memory. This approach takes advantage of your brain's natural learning process. Spacing out your review sessions allows the brain to consolidate the material, making it easier to retrieve later. Understand, don't memorize. A common mistake when trying to remember what you read is focusing solely on memorization. While rote memorization may help in the short term, when you truly grasp a concept, it becomes easier to recall because your brain can connect it to other pieces of information you already know. How to focus on understanding. Explain it to someone else. One of the best ways to ensure you understand something is to teach it to someone else. When you explain a concept in your own words, you reinforce your understanding and create new neural connections in your brain. Relate it to existing knowledge. Try to connect new information to something you already know. For example, if you're reading about a new scientific theory, relate it to a theory you are already familiar with. This process of linking concepts helps your brain organize and retrieve information more efficiently. Ask why and how questions. Don't just focus on the what of the information. Dig deeper by asking why and how. Understanding the underlying principles or reasons behind a concept makes it easier to remember in the long run. Understanding creates a mental framework that allows you to access and apply the information when needed. The more connections you make, the easier it is to remember. Remember to improve your focus and concentration while reading. In today's digital world, distractions are everywhere. One of the biggest reasons people forget what they read is because they aren't entirely focused on the material in the first place. Multitasking, checking your phone, or wandering your mind while reading can significantly reduce retention. How to improve focus while reading. Set aside dedicated reading time. Schedule uninterrupted reading time in a quiet environment. Eliminate distractions like your phone or computer and commit to focusing on the material. Use the Pomodoro technique. This time management method involves breaking your reading into focused intervals, usually 25 minutes, followed by a 5-minute break. After 4 intervals, take a longer break. This helps maintain concentration and prevents mental fatigue. Read with a purpose. Before you start reading, have a clear goal in mind. Whether you are learning a specific concept, answering a question, or gaining a new perspective, reading with intent keeps your brain engaged. Improving your concentration will help you remember what you read and enhance your overall reading experience by allowing you to absorb information more deeply. Additionally, use mnemonics and memory aids to help you remember information by associating it with something easier to recall. Mnemonics can be particularly helpful for remembering lists, dates, or complex information. Here are some techniques to improve memory retention. Mnemonics are memory aids that help simplify complex information, making it easier to recall and store in your long-term memory. Types of mnemonics include acronyms, rhymes, and rhythms, and chunking. For example, you can create an acronym using the first letter of each word you need to remember. Turn the information into a rhyme or a catchy phrase, or break down large pieces of information into smaller, more manageable chunks. Read aloud and involve multiple senses to boost memory retention. Read aloud and involve multiple senses. Reading aloud engages your sense of hearing in addition to sight, creating a stronger memory trace in your brain. You can also highlight key points or jot down notes while reading and discuss the material with others to solidify your understanding and retention. The more senses you involve in the reading process, the easier it becomes for your brain to store and retrieve information. Get enough sleep and manage stress. Sleep and stress play a critical role in memory retention. Lack of sleep impairs your brain's ability to consolidate and store new information. Similarly, stress releases hormones like cortisol, which can interfere with memory formation. How to optimize sleep and stress for memory. Get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Make sure you get enough rest each night. Sleep is crucial for memory consolidation, which is the process by which your brain converts short-term memories into long-term ones. Practice stress reduction techniques, Include relaxation techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, or yoga in your daily routine. Reducing stress allows your brain to function more efficiently and improves your ability to remember what you read. By prioritizing sleep and managing stress, you give your brain the best chance to process and retain the information you consume. The brain can't remember everything, so it has to prioritize what's important and will be used later. You might remember the plot, characters, and a few major scenes from a book you read a long time ago. On the other hand, you might forget an entire book you read just a few months ago. It's humanly impossible to remember everything that we read. Our brain tends to retain only the things that we absolutely need. Everything else gets forgotten very quickly. So, there's no use in trying to remember everything that we read. When we read, we are constantly taking in new information, and our working memory may struggle to process it all. If we don't actively engage with and process that information, we are likely to forget it. Speaking and hearing the information can help us remember it better. If you are short on time, try reading out loud the important information you've underlined or highlighted to reinforce these concepts in your memory. Remembering everything you read doesn't have to be a daunting task. By incorporating these practical strategies into your reading routine, you can improve your focus, understanding, and memory retention. Active reading, visualization, repetition, and mnemonics are just a few of the techniques that will help you retain information more effectively. With consistent practice and the right approach, you'll find that you can recall more of what you read and apply that knowledge to your everyday life. Subscribe for more videos. Thank you.